Hello and welcome to episode
Four. God damn.
episode 4 of not Anthropocene. What are we on? Spirit.
It's
I don't
been
even do
a
the
week.
intro for Anthropocene.
No, you don't. I do.
Anyway, welcome. I hope you had a great week. It's Friday. It's Friday night, and we are back in Salem, Massachusetts for another episode of Spirit. Spirit, of course, standing for Salem Paranormal Investigation, Research, and Information Team. And our team is meeting up for yet another adventure tonight. They find their way to the base, which is in the back of the smoke shop in Salem, Massachusetts, and they find their way back behind the brick building into the office of their good friend Markus. Markus is sitting at the edge of the table. He has a old CRT television, a VCR laying underneath it, as well as his laptop, and of course what you've come to know as the manila envelopes, the files for your missions this weekend.
What is it? Movie day in sixth grade?
I was gonna say usually that whole setup means we get to watch like a movie because there's a substitute.
Yes, well, I do have a movie for you to watch. He gets up from his seat and heads over towards the old school CRT TV and pulls out a tape from the cassette box, places it in the VCR, and the static comes on the television. And he looks back and, "You may want to sit down for this one."
I sit down and put my feet on the table.
He glares.
I don't care.
And he pushes play. And it opens up on a lighthouse. It looks like random footage, like a tourist footage. It's very shaky. It's kind of like amateur, grainy a bit, typical VCR 90s-ish type of content on here. And it is, if you've been here a while or if you've been here any duration, you would recognize this very short square lighthouse.
I got my computer working. Hi. Sorry about that.
It's fine. You know there's a charger just underneath your seat. You can plug it in there.
You need to get a better computer, Benny.
Yes, what was that, the 95 login?
Look, I'm a
What it
college
sounded
student and you don't get to talk with your VCR setup, sir.
Listen, do you know how hard
That's
it was to
fair.
find a VCR setup?
Why is it still VCR? Why wasn't this digitized?
Because we didn't want to lose the authenticity of the tape.
You could do both, man.
Well, I have the digital copy. This is the authentic tape. I want you to see, shush, and watch.
Ada rolls her eyes.
Getting aggressive. Stop. He throws a stray down on the ground.
Marcus. Man. Oh, God.
Anyway, you continue to watch the video. And again, it looks like there's some sort of family. There's a redheaded, probably late 30s, early 40s woman with 2 children who are kind of running around on the lighthouse area. And this lighthouse is not your typical lighthouse, as it were. This thing is very unique in its appearance. You can see that the wharf that it is sitting on is made of stone, and there's like this really chunky asphalt kind of around the area. And instead of being a tall cylindrical building, this looks, I kid you not, like just a small 1-story square, very small, almost like a workshop or a shed made of stone with a light on top. The light is currently off because the film is in daytime. But as the children are kind of running around and going in and out of the building, you can see in the background what looks like an old sailor man for just a split second. It would be like Gordon's fisherman You know, the yellow hat and the yellow, but it's not yellow, it's this dark, dingy gray, and it almost appears very translucent. And it's there for just a second before it disappears. Then the film kind of gets fuzzy and staticky. You hear screaming as the camera seems to drop to the ground. And then it cuts out. The
Well,
static
those
on the
people are
TV.
dead.
Ada,
What?
so what
Rude.
happened to the people?
They were found on the beach the next day. They are dead.
Called it.
Okay, well, you can't just
Sorry.
Needless to say, there's more, but I won't make you watch it. This was the only one that caught a glimpse of what you'll be looking for. I would prefer that you take this case tonight, as it is paramount that we figure out what's going on here, because there has been another body found. Seems that he has been attacking again.
You're sure it's him?
What else could it be?
There's other things that he could be a warning.
Is this the Derby Wharf lighthouse?
It is, yes.
Who was the other body?
The one just found yesterday?
Yes.
His name was Maximus. Family calls him Max.
How old was he?
37.
Cool.
Is this... And there's no footage of that? They just found the body?
There is cell phone footage, but we have not gained access to it yet. The police are still investigating this matter. There is a survivor, located at the Salem Hospital.
the name of the survivor?
Ariana.
Ariana.
Grande?
No, she's quite petite. She's a 7-year-old.
Oh, I shouldn't talk to the kids.
You said it, not me.
Just don't do any of your spooky stuff and it should be fine.
What's the relation?
Daughter.
Uh,
The police have not been able to get her to talk. She is not catatonic, but she is non-responsive.
Like unconscious
Oh no, she's
or
quite
nonverbal?
aware of her surroundings.
Nonverbal. Okay.
Nonverbal.
was she verbal before?
Quite.
Ah,
You say that like you know who this person is, not just their name, but like you actually know them, know them. Is this a personal vendetta for you?
He does look a bit awkward when you call him out on that. I did know her father, and as such have met her before. And let me tell you, it was a trick to get her to stop talking. So the fact that she is not talking now, quite worrisome.
how do you know them?
I wasn't gonna ask. that much.
Maximus was a member of S.P.I.R.I.T.
Perfect.
Was Maximus there investigating this same thing we were going to investigate before he got murdered?
He may have been doing a preliminary search on his own. He was not on mission, as it is obviously not accustomed to take children with you on weekends.
Okay.
I think we should go talk to Ariana first.
I mean, we could do one of the other cases.
People died, Ada.
I'm not sure that we're going to be able to have access to the child in question.
Unless Marcus comes with us.
Even then, it's a family friend type of thing.
I
with
could arrange a
friends.
meeting, but I cannot leave headquarters.
Why?
That is above your pay grade.
which is nothing.
Which
so
is
everything is
nothing.
above my pay grade.
Do we know how they died?
The original body was found brown. It was not tied to a paranormal investigation for many years until this footage surfaced. I was able to get my hands on it. It seems that this happens every 3 years.
If the police are still investigating, do we need to talk to them before we head to the location?
If you wish to head to Derby Wharf and investigate this on your own, then I will give them the heads up. You can be expected this time.
This time, what happened last week when I was sick?
No,
Aliens.
aliens, and we were almost shot by a owner of a house.
Yeah.
I'll show you some of the footage later.
Aliens trespassing. It was
The
a
whole shebang. But we got
whole
out
big
before
thing.
we were like pew-pewed, so
I was like this close to getting abducted.
we all were.
I was in the tent.
Yeah, that was dumb of you.
Or was it brave? Anyway,
No, stupid.
I'm gonna have to watch the footage from last week. Yeah.
Yes. So the body that was found last time was a 30-year-old redheaded woman.
Yes.
Her name?
I did not come up with a name.
Joseph.
Hold. Nope, I do not have one written down. We'll just say it's
Went by
Mary.
many names. Mary.
And she had 2 kids. What happened to the kids?
Oh, the kids survived
How old were they?
physically. One was 11
Physically.
and one was 12.
And their names?
Adam,
And Eve?
no, they were both boys.
Steve.
you're
You're
in
wanting
the
to roll
mood
with it.
tonight.
Derek reaches over and puts a hand over Ada's mouth.
It was Stefan.
Close enough.
What do you mean they survived physically? What didn't survive?
Well, obviously, post-traumatic stress can change a person's personality to a large degree. After this event, they were never the same.
So they're now 14 and 15.
Yes,
Have we
Where are they
heard? There we are.
they are currently states of the ward. Wards of the state.
Yeah, I was like, states of the war.
I was thinking that meant they were institutionalized. So
Did they have any testimonies or anything that we might get our hands on?
In the file, and he slides it forward.
I will flip.
Benny's
through.
gonna grab it.
Nope.
Yep.
I smack his hands
You
until he lets
always
go.
grab it. I'm grabbing it.
Bitch.
See that your teamwork is improving.
Oh, Ada's and Derek's is. He's gonna start flipping.
There's a slow
What's
turn
the
to
file
Derek
say,
from Ada.
Benny?
What's the file say, Marcus?
As you're reading through the file, you see that there are lots of actual, like, documented, like, VHS, and then it goes into those little tiny tapes that they used to have, and then they would have cell phone footage, grainy. It's always not quite clear, but it seems to be an occurrence. Like, there's a pattern as you go. Every 3 years, a body washes ashore, and there's something off about it. And it reports that something happened at the wharf. You were specifically looking for their testimony, and their eyewitness statements are kind of jumbled and they don't make a whole lot of sense, but what you can make of it is that they witnessed their dad flying into the air, or I'm sorry, their mom flying into the air, twirling around into the water and disappearing.
Sorry. That was really morbid.
You look like you have a comment, Catherine.
Catherine, can you get us into the morgue to look at the body?
I mean, yeah.
Sweet.
You could also get us into the hospital too, right?
I can get us into the hospital doors, but I don't have the right to talk to a minor. And if I try to do it as though I'm taking care of them, that is a breach of HIPAA, and then I get fired.
Yes, well, we don't want anything like that. I could arrange a meeting with the child if that is of interest to you.
Probably a good idea.
Catherine, you should probably not be in the room when this happens.
Why?
HIPAA violation?
Yeah, okay.
The
Yeah, that
others
makes
don't
sense. I
have
said that.
medical jobs.
Yeah, we're not bound by it. We can go in there. Worst thing they can do is tell us no or to leave or.
You get banned from a hospital. Like
Yeah.
if Benny got his arm chopped off and we went back and then they point at the wall and say, "No, we have a picture of you."
This
Do not
isn't a
start
bar.
Not allowed on the premises.
No, you'll get taken care of through the ER, but you won't. They'll transfer you to another hospital as soon as you're stable.
Oh.
We're
think
not
I'm
going
gonna
to
get
do
my arm
anything
chopped
wrong. We're
off.
just going to ask some questions. And if he arranges the meeting for us, I mean, they'll know we're coming. It's not like we're sneaking in here. I'm assuming we get permission. That's what you mean by arrange it, correct?
Where's the girl's mom? Ariana's.
Ariana's mom has been out of the picture for a couple of years.
So who will be her legal guardian?
It is unclear at this state.
Okay.
Does have a godfather a couple states away.
Okay.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
All right, I think we should go look at the body because I've always kind of wanted to go to a morgue, and then go to the lighthouse.
You know
Maybe-
the morgue is in the hospital, right?
Yeah, maybe talk to the child while we're at the hospital.
We could split up.
Perhaps
No.
Benny, we're not leaving you in the morgue that whole time.
I mean, he and I can go down to the morgue and look at the body.
Well-
That way I'm not in the room
Ma-
while you
may-
guys talk to the girl. The only
Before
place
we
we
agree
shouldn't
on
split up
splitting
is
up.
to not split up at the work.
Okay.
Yeah, that too. Maybe Ada, you could have one of your,
One of my.
yeah.
Yes,
Those.
I'm hoping to do that.
Maybe it will be safe to split up, but
I'm gonna take the file from Benny.
After he's done, he'll hand it to her.
And look through it.
as you're flipping through, everybody sees she kind of spaces out.
Oh, she's doing the thing.
Wish I could read that fast.
And as you enter your trance and begin to get your vision, go ahead and make your roll.
What am I rolling? Plus what? Plus weird? 12.
So that's yeah, you get a precise description.
Yes, I get a perfect vision of something bad. Or not, yeah, of something bad that is yet to have happened.
You kind of get sucked into this vision, and you find yourself in a very small, cramped quarters. There's a staircase to your right, made of stone. It goes up, and there's a hatch on the ceiling. So the staircase kind of looks like it just goes into the ceiling, but you can see a like trapdoor into the ceiling. This room is no bigger than 20 by 20 square feet. And in front of you, there are 5 bodies. They are bloated, pale, and they look like they have drowned. And you can confirm after looking at the bodies that the 5 of you. And then you are pulled from your vision.
All right, let's go to the hospital.
Anything bad?
That's it.
Yeah, you just like zoned out for a second. It's kind of obvious.
I mean, I'll tell you guys later.
All right, sure,
gonna stand
whatever.
up.
Let's go.
Yep.
Don't trust Marcus.
Go pile
Okay,
into the
Ada,
van.
I completely trust you. That's why you're on the team.
I highly doubt that.
Would you be here if I didn't?
Maybe.
Don't have to like
I just
you to
keep
trust you.
walking. I'm not talking to him. I'm walking away.
So you all pile into the minivan, and Catherine takes you across town, and you will notice that Salem Hospital, you're very familiar with where this is located, Catherine. It is almost dead center of Salem. It is right off of, yes, see what that says, Proctor Street. Proctor Street. And it is a pretty nice hospital. It looks modern. It's not old-fashioned or anything by any means. It is,
They got that money to keep that
yeah.
stuff up.
Get that money, dough. When we're in the van, I will start explaining what I saw.
Is this a bad time to mention that I'm not a great swimmer?
Stay out of the water then, and don't get floated and twirled into the air.
I will do my best.
Probably a good idea.
Well, at least we won't drown at the hospital. So we can
Less
be
likely.
safe for a little bit longer. Even if we do get hurt, we're at the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to move our bodies to the morgue.
That's true. See? So you do see the bright side.
How about we just don't die?
I mean, everybody dies, Benny.
Is that your
Not
next
now?
is that a children's book that you like to read, Ada?
I mean,
Like
this is
everybody
why
poops, but everybody dies?
this is why I shouldn't be allowed to talk to children.
All right, so Ada's not going to go talk to the girl.
He's self-aware, and I think that's great.
Yeah. So it doesn't take you long to get across town. You get to the hospital. It's a 4-story brick building. The first level's kind of got this like nice white beige architecture on the ground level. It looks a little modern, and then everything else is the 3 levels above that are bricked. There's some older windows, those metal frames, classic 70s style architecture there. But it seems like it's well upkept. It's an older building, but it's modern upkeep. To your left, as you're pulling in, you can see the emergency room. It's got the big red letters that say emergency. Parking is to the right. And Catherine, you're very familiar with the layout of the hospital. The emergency room obviously leads in, there's the pole around where the ambulances kind of duck in and people can drop off emergency cases. And then the building to the right, there's a it says Mass General for Children, and this is where they would keep the children. It's like the children's wing. So you can kind of lead everybody through the front door, and as you go through the front door at the front desk, You see someone that's fairly familiar to you. You see a person with short brown hair, glasses, looks to be in her mid-20s, fresh out of RN school or whatever, and she's kind of like just sitting at the desk. It's nighttime, so it's not that busy here. She sees, oh, on your weekend off, Catherine? That's odd.
Yeah, I know I left a few hours ago, but long story short, I need to check out something at the morgue, and I also have a couple of friends who have a friend that is here that they need to visit.
Oh, yes, of course. What is their friend's name?
Ariana.
We need a full name.
Joe didn't give us that.
It's in the file. You would have gotten it.
Okay, what's the last name? Joseph.
Jones.
We give it to her.
Jones, yeah. Smith.
Ariana.
Brianna Jones Smith.
Two last names.
It's hyphenated.
Works for me. It's Ariana Jones Smith. Oh, yes, room 303.
Start walking that direction.
If you guys go there, I will meet you.
And she gives you a visitor pass to get through the swipe thing to get into the morgue.
Okay. I have a lot of trust here.
Yeah,
Don't
that
blow
wasn't too
this.
difficult.
If you blow this, then you blow my job. So, don't get yourselves in trouble, okay?
Well, I
We
left
want our
all the
best-
weapons
So-
in the van.
So little faith, Catherine.
It's my livelihood. What do you want from me?
I would never risk your livelihood. Marcus is on the other hand.
Okay.
We need to discuss your beef with Marcus later on.
We don't have to discuss anything, Benny. And I walk away.
I'm just gonna push Benny towards the morgue. And direct them to the elevators.
Benny, don't touch anything while you're down there.
Hey, Catherine.
Look.
Can I touch anything?
Look
What
with
was,
your
what
eyes.
was your nurse friend's name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Got it. Thank you. Does she have a last name?
You guys look like I remember my coworkers' last names.
Same. Ugh.
Where'd you get that notepad, Ada?
I've always had this notepad.
I don't know. You just started writing out of nowhere. I didn't even see you carry it in.
Yeah, I've always had this. I keep it tucked in my boot.
I
Okay.
thought you were gonna say boob, and I was thinking,
I'm tucked in my boobs.
So yeah, you split up and you go. We're gonna start with room 303. So whoever's going up to see Ariana in room 303. You walk to the elevator. You get in. It's a very shiny, sparkly metal elevator. Looks like it's probably from the 80s. Hasn't been updated since. You go up. It dings. The door opens. And there is a long hallway. There are rooms on both sides of the hallway, and on the other end of the hallway, there's a stairwell. And it's dimly lit with every other light in the room is turned on. It's those fluorescent lights, and about 5 of those fluorescent lights out of the 20 of them are kind of flickering.
I thought this was supposed to be a nice
Did we
place,
just
Joe.
walk into a horror movie?
It probably looks a lot better in the daytime. But it is
Dude,
nighttime.
hospitals are creepy at night. It doesn't matter how nice they are.
That is true. That is true.
I guess we'll start going to 303. This is some Stephen King bullshit.
Yeah. You walk down the hallway and you realize that you are currently on 384.
Oh my god.
Evens are on the left, odds are on the right, and you can go down the hallway. As you get about halfway down there, you come to a nurse's desk. It's kind of got an oval, like half crescent shaped, like chest high countertop. You can see computers in the background. Their monitors are currently off. You don't see anybody present. There's nobody here at the nurse's station.
That's not unusual on night shift. There's only like 2 nurses.
You're in the morgue. Shh.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here like, okay.
Why is this?
Sorry.
I love that Kristen is actually in the medical field. So,
Yeah.
like, all this stuff is like real life to her.
This is a pretty creepy hallway.
Yeah, and they keep children here. Let's keep going to 303, I guess.
I mean, we are allowed to be here, right? I'm like looking around. There's like
We
cameras
have-
and stuff, right?
we
Like
have
you can just see visibly in the hallway.
Passes.
I know, this is just so creepy. It feels like we shouldn't be here. I don't know.
I mean, listen, if zombies pop out, we'll take care of you.
Are there cameras and stuff? Like they're just on the ceiling?
There are cameras. You can clearly see
Exit
them.
signs and normal.
Yep. Yep. Exit
Okay.
signs are glowing. The light, obviously the power's on. It look after you kind of assess the situation. You see the cameras. You see the little dots that they're recording. You see the exit signs are lit. It looks like this is night shift. They've turned half the lights out for, energy efficiency. It's not.
But they're like flickering and stuff. It's just kind of.
Yeah, about 5 out of the 20 lights are kind of flickering a little bit.
Two guys.
Okay.
Oops.
I envisioned all this like someone would be here with us. Like, hi, here she is. Okay, there's people here to talk to you, Ariana.
Yeah,
Now it seems like we're just gonna walk in their room in this creepy ass hallway.
Well, we'll just do it gently. Ooh, better yet, we'll just have Derek go in first. He's a big old teddy bear.
I mean, Benny's the one who's most like a child. Why didn't
Benny's
you send him
not
to the
here.
bodies?
I look around and go, Benny's not here.
I know. Well,
You're the next big teddy bear.
you're great. You're great. Jonathan's very unassuming.
I have a niece, but I don't talk to kids very often. I mean, I see her
He
like
has a
twice a year
niece.
on holidays.
You have 600 siblings, Derek.
Look,
600
Benny's not
siblings.
here. He chose dead bodies over the child, so I'm thinking perhaps he assumed he's not the best one to talk to the child. I'm just saying.
Am I hearing typewriters going off, Joseph?
It's called office ambience, okay?
Oh,
There's no
okay.
hospital stuff, so this is the closest.
I was just like,
But
you
is
said
it like
no
it
one was
just-
Monitors,
here.
Joe.
No one's here. The
Beeping.
ghost is
That annoying beeping that you
But
just
it's not
eventually
like-
drone out of your ear.
Is it like actually coming from the desk? Like suddenly there's a typing sound that wasn't there before, or is it just the ambience?
It's just the ambience.
Oh, okay.
It's a hospital
be creepy
nighttime
as hell.
ambience.
Yeah, I would have been like,
Just
yeah,
someone
this
typing.
fucking place is haunted. All right, fine. We'll just go in as the 3 crazy people.
Well, we don't
to
have
talk
to
to
be
this child.
crazy. I'm just saying I thought there'd be someone with us to like,
I
set
want-
this conversation
Yeah.
up or guide
We're
us at
adults.
all.
You guys,
Okay.
we're adults. We can walk in and be the ones to introduce ourselves.
So here's the thing: is we're 3 strangers after a traumatic experience. Why the fuck didn't Marcus come with us?
He said he can't leave.
Isn't that suspicious? Why can't he leave?
He probably
Does
has
he?
on.
But what? Like, does he never leave? What if he's a ghost?
He probably has on some high waters. You know he's self-conscious about his ankles. Just let it. Like he didn't want to come with us. That's why he pays us in breadsticks.
Oh, sure. Oh, I still have Catherine's Olive Garden card.
Look, we can deal with that later. Look, if the kid starts freaking out, we can give her the Olive Garden card.
I don't think she would want it, but you're right.
How old was
No,
this
kids
child
love
again?
Olive Garden. They think it's good
7?
Italian food.
Maybe we should have brought a stuffed animal. The fuck is that?
It's office ambience.
No, the
That was not.
You've never been in an office?
My whole life is an office,
It's
dear.
always banshee screams.
You hear children laughing, but you're in a children's hospital wing.
And space beeps.
Aliens are back.
Hey, it's
Why
the only
they-
beeps I can give. From...
Why'd they give all these children typewriters? And don't they sleep?
Manual labor.
They don't get computers, they get typewriters.
They get to
This
fill
is how
out
the
all the
hospital
HIPAA
gets-
reports.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, let's keep going and see this child so we can get this over with.
So you continue down the hall and you get to the door. And who all is up here?
Ada, Derek, and John.
Okay. As you get to the door and you the door is open. It's a heavy door, but it's propped open as it goes open inwards, and it's propped open so that you can walk into the room. But there is currently a curtain that hangs from the ceiling that kind of keeps the bed private, so you can't see anything on the bed.
Yeah, that typewriter's really loud.
It is
Is it?
really loud.
They're getting closer.
They're typing faster.
I'm
Run.
gonna lightly knock on the door. Just Ariana?
There's no response.
I'm gonna slowly walk and go, I'm Ada. Our friend Markus sent us. Keep walking and
No response.
Gonna go to the curtain.
You walk up to the curtain.
I peek around it.
There is a body in the bed.
Okay. Child size? What's happening?
It's a child-sized body.
Okay.
Sleeping, breathing.
Pixie cut, red hair. Seems to be asleep. You can see the
Oh.
chest rising and falling.
I shouldn't wake her.
Yeah, but this could be our only chance to talk to her.
Then you do it.
Okay, I'm gonna crouch by the side of the bed.
As you're
And-
approaching the bed,
Laura, what? Like unthreateningly, get down at her eye level, like an animal. You get down.
Crouch
you're
unthreateningly
approaching the
like
bed.
an animal.
you hear a tall or a small, tiny voice whisper out, "I know you're there."
From the bed, this
Seems
says
like
it?
it's coming from the bed, yes.
Okay, because I was about to whip around Joe and like...
We just wanted to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember Marcus. We're friends of Marcus.
He said you'd be here.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Can you tell us what happened? That
You see her body seems to kind of tense up, and she's currently covered. Everything below the neck is under covers, but you can see underneath the bed, under the covers, the tense. It looks like she is grabbing the bed and kind of tensing up.
if it's too much, you don't have to talk about it. We can talk about something else.
How's Poe?
Who's Poe?
Poe, my gerbil.
Your gerbil?
Haven't seen him in a week.
Oh, I'm sure he's fine.
Is someone feeding him?
Yes.
Good.
You know,
Marcus
to go
said
get
he'd take
this
care of that too.
gerbil.
And Poe was at your house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he's being well taken care of.
He's like my 7th gerbil. My dad thinks that, or he thought that. She starts to clam up again as she starts to think.
So, was Poe named after anyone in particular?
He looks like a panda.
You know, those are some of my favorite movies.
Me too. Kind of tries to sit up a little bit in bed, but she does appear to be hurt.
I'll give her some time. I thought it was Edgar Allan Poe, and then I remembered she's 7. So
I also was hoping that, but
I thought of the ghosts from Zelda, the pose.
oh my gosh.
I was like, this is a creepy name for a creepy gerbil.
for a creepy child. 'Cause
Gerbils and hamsters are kind of creepy at times.
and children.
We don't say that out loud.
I mean,
Ada, no.
the fuck was that?
Ada, where there is a
I'm
child next to you.
I look around for the noise that I just heard.
As you look around, you turn around, and in the doorway, you see a child. Completely soaked from head to toe. Eyes pure white. And then he disappears. You can hear the footsteps pitter-patter down the hall.
I'll be right back.
Ada, be careful.
I'm in a hospital.
When you say disappeared, do you mean like took off or like disappeared in front of our eyes?
Turned around and disappeared by
Okay, not like
running.
like
nah,
like
did not disappear or
dematerialized.
dematerialize. Disappeared
Okay,
as in turn
'cause
around
that's
and
a
ran
whole
away.
different reaction. Okay,
I'm gonna go follow this child.
Jonathan, stay here. I'm gonna go with Ada.
okay.
You're leaving? And she reaches out and clutches you.
Okay, maybe not. You go with Ada.
All right.
That's more dangerous than.
Yeah, I didn't bring any of my stuff because we're in a hospital. But yeah, you're probably right, and I'll duck out of the room as well.
The two of you duck out of the room, and Ada, as you go to give chase, and you're the first one to leave the room, as soon as you leave and look to the right where you saw the child go, there is nobody in that hallway.
I'm like looking around. Where did she get, or where'd they go?
I don't know. Can I see any like footprints or anything?
There is a roll for that, right? Investigate a mystery.
Sure.
Please do that. And I believe you can help, and that gives her a +1 if you mark a fatigue.
Yeah, I can choose to help, but if I fail, things get worse for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can also choose to do that after the fact, so I'll wait.
Give me a second. I need to pull up the. Sorry, I thought I had this pulled up, but I did not.
You're just investigating a mystery?
Yeah. It's sharp, thank you. That is a 9.
So that's a hold one.
So, to reference, make sure I investigate a mystery. Where did it go?
You do find not so much footprints as they are puddles in the shape of footprints that lead down the hall towards the exit, the fire exit stairwell.
I have an ability called Occam's Broadsword. When I first encounter something strange, I may ask the keeper what sort of thing it was. They'll tell me if it or the cause of it is natural, unnatural, or a weird phenomenon, or a person.
It was a ghost.
Okay. I know I don't, see ghosts like you, but I'm pretty certain that was a ghost.
Yes, but why did it appear here?
I don't know.
So-
Oliver just thinks it's a ghost, so I believe him.
Oh yeah, I believe Oliver too. Should we follow it?
Where? It's gone.
I show the footprints, the puddles.
Do I also see them, or is it
You
just
see
Ada's?
the puddles.
Oh, okay.
And they're puddles, but they're in that shape of a humanoid footprint, and they are small. They're in the shape of a small child's footprint, but they are puddles. So they're not like defined, and it's not like a shoe footprint. It is like puddles in the shape of
Barefoot.
feet. Bare feet.
I mean, are there water ghosts? Like, what is this thing?
I don't know. We gotta go find out. What if it was killed by the creature that killed other people?
So
All right.
you two start following the footprints
Mm-hmm.
while Derek is confronting Ariana down in the morgue. Catherine, you have successfully led Benny down to the end of the hallway and took the elevator down into the morgue. And you know that there's the section in between the decompression or whatever what's it called? The decontamination.
Decontamination.
It's it's kind of like it's been put into this building. Like, it doesn't look like it was built in the building. It looks like it was put in after the fact. But there's a small decontamination area that you go through. And as soon as you come out of that, there is an individual sitting at a desk. Seems to be going through there's like old school, that off green, like that mint green file cabinets in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have the handwritten letters on them in Sharpie. And he looks up from his desk and, can I help you? Do you have clearance to be down here? It's quite unusual to get visitors this late in the day.
Benny, do you have the file?
Yep. Got it.
I'm gonna open the file and find the name that I'm looking for the guy that washed up a couple days ago.
Ah, Maximus Jones. What was the hyphenated? Jones something.
Myth.
Smith.
Eh.
Yes. Ah, Maximus, yes.
I know the police are still looking into it, but so are we. And we just
clear. Oh, yes, I did receive a phone call. Here, and he opens a drawer and pulls out a box of latex gloves and hands them to you.
yeah, I take them and put them on.
Offers them to Benny.
Yep.
Grabs a couple himself and snaps them on. And he leads you back to this row of freezers. And he opens the door and slides out. And there in front of you is Maximus's body. He does look like he is probably a couple days at this point. Decomposing. The bloated is kind of going down. He looks like he's starting the process of autopsy. So these fluids are being drained, that kind of thing. Benny,
And we're sure.
is this the first time you've seen a body?
Outside of video games, yes.
It's not what you thought.
No.
Even the smell of the decomposing, it's not as bad as it would be, you would think, if it was rotting out in the sun, out in the elements, but you still
It's so
get
cold.
that
There's
Yeah, there's
still death
smell
smell.
of death.
Yeah. You gonna be okay? Are you sure? If you need a bucket, you go back that way.
Oh, I'm good. Just shouldn't have had those bagel bites before coming.
Okay. So she's gonna look at her civilian, and so we're 100% sure that he drowned.
That is the initial cause of death that we have found. I haven't found any other evidence towards anything else.
No other trauma noted whatsoever.
There was some bruising, but it was I was gonna say postpartum. Is that
Postmortem?
Postmortem? There we go. Postpartum. Postmortem. It seems his body was banging up against the rocks on the beach.
Okay. No broken bones, no signs of strangulation, anything like that.
No, it appears that he was a perfectly healthy individual before death.
Okay. I'm thinking, Joe. Give me a minute.
That's okay. You actually have the ability to run a medical check, I believe. What is it called? Because you have a feature for medicines and stuff, right?
No.
Theta. Maybe I'm thinking of a different thing.
You must be thinking of a different thing, because I have Trust Me, which doesn't, unless we get into danger down here, doesn't apply. And Panic Button to Escape.
Oh, I remember what I'm talking about. We had discussed if you do an investigative mystery and it's a medicinal investigation, you get advantage on that, or not advantage, whatever the equivalent is.
You said it was like a +1, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember now. So I would like to do that then.
I would too, and I'd also like to make my man with the plan roll.
Okay, do your make a man with a plan roll.
And my roll is 11.
Okay, and then are you taking the fatigue to help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, you gotta guess. I'll do an 11 or +1, so that way it's a 12.
Okay.
Cool. 12 is a perfect roll, right?
Yep.
So, you, upon doing your investigation, mostly find this person that doing the autopsy is pretty good at their job. They, the bruises are definitely post-mortem. The cause of death definitely looks like drowning, but you do also notice that there are some very faint, unusual marks around the neck. They don't look like strangulation, and they're not around the neck like this so much as they are like around the neck
from behind,
backwards, but like somebody was
like the thumbs are back here.
Yeah, it's kind of like somebody was standing on the other side looking at them and holding them down with a lot of pressure.
Okay.
You see the thumb marks. The thumb marks here, and then the bruising along the back. There's 4 little fingertips. It's very subtle, very hard to see. You could understand why this person missed it.
Okay. I'm going to point it out to Benny. And be like, look at this here. Doesn't it look like he was held down?
Which could explain the drowning.
Probably fought. But if it's something that we're investigating, there's not going to be anything under the fingernails because it would have been washed out.
You will also notice, Catherine, that the body has been compressed and there is evidence of, what is it called? When a diver doesn't decompress when surfacing.
Oh, the bends.
Yes. There's evidence of that. It's called something else when it's like the cause of death.
Right. I don't know what it's called for that, but I know it's called the bends.
Where the lungs kind of like, they pop because of the pressure difference and not decompressing as they rise through the pressure difference. But it looks like it was from going down quickly.
So they went from out, they just went like this.
Yeah, it looks like the lungs and the internal organs were just squeezed.
Okay. This guy went deep.
So maybe he wasn't held down, but dragged down?
Likely. I think we need to bring this to everybody else's attention. Because if it can do it this quickly, then we might be in a lot more trouble than we think. And we already think we're in some trouble. What was that?
Sorry, that was there's some static at the desk, and you can hear like some sort of like CB radio, and the person that you're with, oh, excuse me, I'll be right back, and he walks away from the table here, leaving the two of you with the body.
As soon as he walks away, Benny pulls out his cell phone and takes pictures of the bruising, and he's supposed to get evidence. You know, I was thinking this might be a vengeful spirit. They were talking about like one of the ghosts that was like a sea captain, right?
What if he drowned and now he wants other people to drown on the anniversary of his death? But that would only make sense if he did it every year. Why is it every 3? And why does it seem to be with a parent with kids? Because both instances that we have on record were with kids.
There was a report of a small child being seen at the lighthouse too, so
Look down here. And she's gonna point down to the ankles. These kind of look like suction marks.
Benny, as she's pointing it out, you see in a spiral pattern from the bottom of the ankle about halfway up the shin, there are very small, round, look like hickeys. Very, very light, very... it's just more like discoloration, like very slight discoloration.
he's gonna snap a photo of it really quick, put his phone back in his pocket before the person comes back. This looks like an octopus.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a kraken?
I'm thinking more like the stories of Davy Jones, but sure.
Oh, that's right.
At any rate, I'm getting nervous, and I don't like being nervous. You know how I get, especially with ghosts.
Can I read a bad situation?
Sure you can. Roll your read a bad situation.
That is an 8. So I guess my one would be, are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Benny, you overhear the individual who walked away is talking on the CB radio, and it sounds like he is talking to security.
Time to go.
Yeah, we gotta go right now. We gotta go get everyone, and I think it's time to leave.
Okay. She's gonna close the body back into the fridge and take her gloves off and put them in the trash. Very cleanly and orderly.
Okay. And you guys head out. And as you do, the guy doesn't stop you, but he does kind of like watch you leave, and he does wave to you.
I smile and wave. And
he doesn't say anything, but he does watch as you go through the decontamination and then back into the elevator. What was that?
The children outside.
Okay.
I thought that was Joe for a minute.
We're at a children's hospital. What do you think it is?
Oh, man. I have a brief story before we continue. Yesterday, the neighborhood children were playing and screaming, and one of them just yells, "Bigfoot's here!" And then there's just blood-curdling screams, and then a bang, and then silence. I don't know what happened, but...
It sounds like a party.
Yep. All right.
Back up into the room. As you are sitting there with Ariana and the electronic devices that she is hooked up to, and the monitoring, the heart monitor, they're beeping and everything. And ambiance, the office ambiance, the typewriters are going off in the background. And she kind of lets go of her her clutch on you. Thank you for not leaving. This place is scary at night.
It is kind of scary, huh? Do you see any of the other kids around?
There's one that keeps visiting me.
Is it a little boy?
Yeah, he's got the red hair. Short like mine.
Okay. You've never met him before?
He doesn't talk to me, he just stands in the doorway.
Well, it's not very nice, is it?
I know, he's kind of rude.
Okay, I'm gonna go check on my friends, okay? But I will be right back.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm just gonna go look out the door. I won't even go out the room.
Okay.
I'm gonna go stick my head out. And
Seems a little bit more when you say that you're not leaving the room. She seems a little bit more happy about that. And as you walk over and peek your head out, we'll come back to you in a second. The two that have followed the footprints down the hallway, you see that they go into the emergency exit.
Do you think the alarm's going to sound if we open this?
It's only one way to find out.
I think there might be more than one way, like just talking to someone, but
Have we seen somebody on this floor?
just a ghost kid.
And the little girl in the bed. And I don't think she would know.
Hopefully. I sure hope she doesn't deal with ghosts all the time.
True.
All right. I mean, I guess we can where's it going to lead, though? Just to a fire escape? Just to the stairs?
Probably, but then we'll know if it went up or down by the footprints.
All
We're
right,
going to open the door.
As you reach your hand out to push open the door,
Ah! What was that?
a face is pressed up against the wall.
The wall or the window?
Window. To the window, to the wall. A face is pressed up against the window. You can see clearly that the eyes are rolled back. It's not pure white, it's just rolled back. The hair is wet, drenched red hair, kind of shoulder length, or not shoulder length, like eye length, shortcut, buzz cut. And you look confused.
Yeah. Eye level, shortcut, buzz cut.
Yeah, it's got the buzz on the sides, and then it's got the like shoulder or eye level, like
okay.
yeah,
okay.
It's like a little boy's like.
Better. That is not what it would like. I would. Okay, it's at eye level, short.
I don't know how to describe.
No.
The very.
I get it now.
Very much like the 1700s boys haircut, where it's like the short and then the bowl cut, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Hey there, buddy. What are you doing? You almost you scared us there.
Just staring at you without the pupils. It's just the eyeballs looking through the window.
Ada, what do we do?
Do you need help?
The face drops down and disappears behind the bottom part of the window.
I'm gonna look over the window.
There's nobody there.
Listen, ghosts are interesting. I say we follow him.
Are you sure? Because I'm pretty creeped out right now, and I don't normally follow ghosts.
Wow.
And I this is like the first time I've seen I mean, I feel like I've been like, ooh, that was creepy. What was that? Is that a ghost? But I've never just seen a ghost. Think it's like, this is crazy.
What we do is crazy, Jonathan.
Yeah, I know. And we do it for Olive Garden. That's the crazy part.
I know. I know. Why do we do this for Olive Garden?
Just keep coming back.
Okay. Do we? So we don't have to follow it. We could go back to Derek, or we could follow it, maybe find the source, maybe get ourselves did. Which do you prefer?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to follow the ghost, but it seems like there's like water ghosts or something involved here anyways.
Well, I mean,
We're in the hospital. I don't want to drown in a hospital.
yeah, I mean, I feel like that's unlikely.
I feel like ghost kid that has water footprints is a pretty likely way to drown in a hospital.
Okay, well then we don't have to follow the ghost.
Can't you do whatever you do, like your weird ghost powers, and figure this out?
My weird ghost powers.
Yes.
What exactly would you like me to do, Jonathan?
I don't know. Stare at something for a second and then tell us what's going to happen in the future.
You want me to have a premonition?
Yes.
It doesn't work like that, honey.
Why?
I don't know. I don't make up the rules. According to Monster of the Week, I can only do it once per.
As you two are standing in the hallway at the fire exit arguing, Derek, you peek your head out and you see the two of them all the way down the hall standing in front of the fire escape exit. It's not really the fire escape. It is labeled a fire like exit door, but it's also a stairwell.
Yeah.
Hey. Guys.
There's a ghost. A ghost kid.
Did you find him? Did you get to talk to him?
No, he stared at us creepily through the flip-flapping window.
He looked like Smeagol.
That's rude. The staring
He had red hair. He didn't look like
stuff.
Schmeagol.
He didn't even have pupils.
They were rolled back into his head. It's fine.
That's not usually fine. Well, good thing he's in a hospital. So
He real dead.
I'm gonna talk to her a little bit longer, and then are you guys gonna keep looking for the ghost, or?
That's what we're trying to decide.
I mean, does he want us to follow him?
He didn't say anything. I'm gonna open the door.
Does the fire escape have an alarm on it?
What happens
It's just
when
a
the door
stairwell. Oh fuck! I closed the door.
It's a
Too late.
fire escape. It does.
You said it was a stairwell.
I'm an electrician. Do I know how to turn this alarm off very quickly?
I stick my head into the room and say, "Choose your friends carefully."
No.
As the fire alarm goes off, our elevator stops and gets.
No.
Now we're stuck in an elevator, aren't we, Joseph?
You
It's
are,
not a
in
fire
fact.
alarm, is it? It's the.
It is. As
Is
you
it the
shut
same
the
as the
door,
fire alarm?
the alarm shuts off.
It just notifies you when the door opens. Lord.
I told you if we open the door, it probably is going to activate an alarm.
Listen, it seems real stupid because some people like to take stairs.
Yeah, during
Is
an
there a-
emergency.
Is there a sticker anywhere on the door that says alarm will sound if door is open?
No,
And this is fucking bullshit.
You know, it's a good thing I
but
don't
there
work
is
for
a
OSHA.
sign next to it where the fire alarm is at.
that says that.
And at that point, on the very far end of the hallway, about 300 yards that way, the elevator dings and the doors open, and there is Derek and Catherine. Or not Derek. Sorry,
Jesus.
Benny and Catherine.
Wow, Derek, I didn't know you had teleportation,
Yeah, it sounds about right. So I guess we're not following the ghost because we're just gonna sound off the alarm. So let's go back to the child.
Did I hear the alarm through the elevator door?
Oh, I'm sure you fucking did. They're annoying and loud.
Yep.
I mean, I could try to disconnect this thing.
What are you guys doing?
I know how to connect
We
it.
are at the other end of the hallway, Benny. We can't talk to them yet.
It'd be a lot easier if I had a key, but I mean, if we can get a screwdriver or something, I could probably figure this out.
We could also just go through it and shut it real quickly. They already know the alarm went off.
Are you sure? It could have just been like, what was that? Oh, I don't know. It's over now. Look, I don't know. I mean, I guess you're right, but Does that mean someone's coming on their way right now anyways?
I don't know.
We're walking down the hallway towards them, Joe.
It's a long hallway. 300 yards is 3 football field lengths.
Oh, look, it's Catherine and Benny down there.
Benny's actually going to go into the room
Wave
with
down
the
the
child.
long
Room
hallway.
303, which is 3 rooms away from the fire exit as you're going down.
Oopsies.
So, yeah,
Guys,
you're walking down the
what?
hallway.
Pilgrim's hospital area means all doors have alarms in case kids get out of their beds in the middle of the night and go wandering through the doors.
I didn't know that. I don't work in the hospital. What we saw was a ghost go through the fucking door.
Wait, you saw a ghost?
Obviously.
Yeah, he looked like Smeagol.
He did not look like Smeagol.
Well, he looked like Smeagol before he turned into Smeagol, when he was still like a hobbit thing.
What was his name when he was like that?
Smeagol.
No, was it? Yes, it was. You're right. Fuck.
I feel like that's in character.
Okay,
Are we
so
yelling
what,
down the hall?
No, wait, we've caught up at this point,
Oh,
I guess.
okay.
It just took us a while to get there.
You didn't hear that alarm, did you?
As you guys meet up, all the fluorescent bulbs pop, and it is dark in
Okay.
this floor. The only lights left are the emergency lights on each end of the hallway, and some of the room, like, background lights. You can see some of the lights from, like, televisions.
10 light.
I pull out my cell phone and turn on my phone light.
I pull out my
I-
Oliver.
I pull out a pen light and they're like getting the actual stuff out. I just go out of my breast pocket and they're just like clicking and holding a light.
Yeah. As soon as you all turn your flashlights on, you all see it. There is a child that stands at about 3.5 feet tall, short, cropped hair, red, looks drenched. If you're standing on the left side of him, you can see the eyes. If you're standing on the right side, you can't. You just see the back of the head. There are what look like some sort of like crab or crustacean-like creature that kind of crawl underneath the collar in the back. The eyes are rolled into the back of the head, and it's just standing there.
Hi, buddy.
Who did that to you?
There is a low rumble. It's eerily quiet after, like, all the beeping has stopped around you when the light bulbs went out. It's very, very quiet in here. And then there's a low rumble. And in that instant, after the rumble, the lights come back on, all of them. Every single light in this hallway, the fluorescent lights kick on, and that child is gone.
Okay, that was creepy. That was like some Davy Jones locker shit.
Can I go check on
yeah,
Ada?
exactly.
Can
Speaking
I go
of,
check on the child, the other one?
Yeah. Go back.
Yeah, we're
As
all
you-
gonna.
Yeah, as you run over to room 303 and you run in, the curtain is still pulled back from when Derek and her were talking. She is in her bed. Her head is turned away towards the outside window.
oh no.
And
Then
you
he's gonna
can,
go to the window.
you can see water dripping down from the bed.
Catherine, can you do your, like, fix it?
I will do another medicine-y thing to see if she is actually
Roll your
alive or not.
investigative mystery. You get a +1. If anybody would like to help, you can add a +1 as well before or after the roll by
12.
taking a fatigue. Oh, you don't need that. You don't need help. You're in your element here. You run up and you kind of turn her over, and immediately water spills out, and you know this looks like a drowning. So you immediately start
Time to go.
compressions and mouth to mouth to try to get her to come out. And it takes a minute. And as you're doing your mouth to mouth, you have this salty taste.
Beats water.
It's got that fishy, salty taste to it. It seems very desperate and very what takes a minute seems like it takes an hour. But after a minute of compressions, coughing, and the water comes out.
Okay.
And she is again breathing.
I'm gonna like pet the water, her hair away from around her face, because the compressions and stuff I imagine would have her all like this. So I just
Very much.
Just like go like this around her face and just kind of stroke her cheeks and.
She's alive and she's breathing, but she does not seem responsive. She does not seem.
Right. She's not conscious.
Yeah.
Then he's gonna dig through his bag and pull out a Costco-sized thing of salt.
How much could you walk into a hospital with? I'm just wondering, like, if you can just bring like a whole book bag into a hospital.
You can bring a book bag into a hospital, yeah.
They do
Oh, really?
scan them. Metal detectors.
Likes a lot of salt on his food.
Just a lot of
salt
salt.
is fine. Yeah, I was just curious.
I'm gonna start trying to put up like wards against ghosts.
Okay, are you familiar with this? Is this
I'm-
feature?
I know magic is the thing. I don't know if I'm like super familiar, but I feel like Derek and I might be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at words and stuff.
Yeah.
I would like you both to roll a protect someone roll, which is a tough.
Oh, how tough
You
is
know-
Ada? I don't think she's that
Okay,
tough.
I guess that's a physical protect someone. I guess this
Yeah.
is more of a.
This is a weird.
Yeah, you can roll
A weird
weird or
protect.
sharp
Okay.
for this.
Maybe just like a use magic.
Yeah, we can use a use magic.
Okay.
Because that'd be more like a ritual, which would be like ritualistic magic, I suppose.
Yeah.
Are
So
you gonna
I have
behave yourself
a
up here.
move that I took called Never Again. And
Oh.
so it says in combat, but if you roll to protect someone or you choose to protect someone, you don't have to roll. It's an automatic 10
Oh,
plus.
nice.
You just have to take all the harm. Or not choose like reduce harm or anything. So
That's a cool one.
I rolled a 13 for magic.
Yeah, you're familiar. You know what sigils to use, and you actually brought with you some wax and some sage, and have that in your backpacks that were scanned upon entry.
They
And
weren't scanning for sage and salt. They were scanning for
Weapons.
Weapons.
yeah, knives and guns. Yep. And you're able to put up a couple protection symbols. There's one under the bed that you put them in spots that people aren't going to see them, obviously, and you do them well.
Does the little girl have any of her belongings like in the room?
You see a cell phone sitting on the little wheelie table next to the bed. Down the hall, you hear the elevator ding.
Oh yeah, guys, security might be
after us.
Wait,
yeah.
what did
Oh.
you guys do?
what do you mean?
Is that our
security
fault
might
or
be-
your fault?
I touched nothing.
She opened the escape door.
Yeah, but accidents happen.
Time to go. In either case.
I mean, there's cameras. We can just show them the weird Smeagol kid.
They are not. That bitch probably did not show up on the camera.
We
Well,
should
this
go.
water will show up. At least they'll see like that the water came out of nowhere. Especially
Can
if
you
it's on the
prove that?
camera.
What I'm gonna do really quick, Joe, is I'm gonna take the cell phone and I'm gonna take the SIM card out of it
Okay.
and take it with me.
Shit.
So do the rooms not have cameras? Because Like privacy?
Individual rooms do not have cameras.
Okay, so just the hallway.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. We gotta get out of here, but the only way to get out of here is through that exit door that has the alarm.
Or we just tell security we're leaving and they escort us off the premises and it's fine.
Are you gonna lose your job?
Maybe. I'll
Oh
deal with it.
no.
Come on.
I mean, we had permission to be here.
Okay.
Well, Marcus
Doesn't matter.
always says, but Ada, give me your boot book.
Okay. I pull out my boot book.
Even though Benny
Beep
took
boop.
the sim to her phone.
phone.
Yeah.
Thinking about the creepy child. And Derek's gonna scribble his phone number down on a piece of paper and do like a little dribble face drawing
Okay.
and leave it with her.
Put the boot book back in my boot.
Book.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, we're leaving.
yeah.
We're in the process of leaving.
As you walk out the door, Catherine, you notice a familiar face. It's Aisha. She's a registered floor nurse. You know that she's on the night shift usually. She is the one that seems to be coming out of the elevator and heading down towards the nursing station.
Okay. Aisha, I know you don't have to believe me. But keep an eye on 303 tonight, like extra close.
Oh, okay. Does she have unusual vitals, or?
Yes, very unusual vitals, and I kind of talked to her a little bit, got her stabilized again. But she had, I think, an attack of some sorts.
Oh my. Okay. Yeah. Let me go get everything ready, and this is the beginning of my shift. Where are the other nurses?
I have no idea. Maybe they are in the break room. You know how the shift change goes.
Okay. Yeah. You have a good night.
Yep, you too.
And she
I'm
heads
gonna-
towards the nurse station as you guys head towards the elevator and get into the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Go down the elevator, and as the elevator door opens, the hospital looks the same. There's no security. Well, there's no security standing there waiting for you. There is a security guard at the front desk, and your friend is still there. But nothing unusual seems to be going on. All the lights down here are on.
Back to the van then.
Yeah.
So I have a hypothesis
What's your hypothesis?
that the kid is the one doing the majority of the damage, and maybe the adult we saw is either somebody that the kid killed or is the parent of the kid
Trying to stop it?
trying to stop it and
Yeah.
failing miserably, or they're both doing it. That's my other hypothesis.
Well, the other thing is why is the kid at the hospital and not at the ward?
I'm almost actually kind of wondering if that may be because either the kids were meant to drown, or maybe there is something that is connecting this child to this world. I mean, vengeful spirits, maybe the old man that everybody's talking about killed the child. This child become a vengeful spirit and wanted to kill the one that killed him. A lot of times, vengeful spirits will, even if that other person had died, they'll want to drag them to hell. So,
pouring down rain.
Sorry, that's supposed to be traffic.
Oh.
It sounds like rain.
Yeah, but the thing is even then, why is this happening at the hospital and not like the hospital was supposed to be just us coming to talk to the child to check out the body, but it's turned into so much more.
But it's also the morgue. It's been the morgue for a long. It's like the main city morgue.
I know, but
I mean,
Benny's
whatever's attacking these people is following them. It's It doesn't seem like it's just they were in the wrong place, wrong time. I mean, this is related. There's the seawater. Like, why? Obviously, there's something going on where these targets are specific.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a little bit of Googling about like the lighthouse and the ward and everything and try to find a little bit more information about who maybe ran the lighthouse from like the era that the boy looked like he might have been from.
Yeah, you're able to pull that up. You all have access to Google and everything. So on your drive, you're heading away from the hospital. Where are you all heading as you're Googling this information?
The lighthouse, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benny's also going to put the SIM card into his phone and see if there's anything.
As you boot it up, there are several pictures. Like, there's a Roblox account.
Like this kid.
Several pictures of cats and things, and there is a video recently taken. And as you're watching the video, it's a video of the lighthouse, being at the lighthouse, and not specifically the lighthouse. The lighthouse is in like the corner, and it kind of like gets off and on and off and on. And you see like the focus of the video seems to be some sort of rippling in the water. It's hard to judge distance on the video because this is a cell phone. You're kind of looking at a small screen. Looks like it's a fair distance out into the water in the bay, away from the lighthouse. You can't really tell a whole lot of like specifics because it's a cell phone video. It's not anything specifically clear, but there's some sort of disturbance in the water. Sounds are loud, sorry. I don't know how to turn. Let me know if they're still too loud. So there's like this rippling in the water, and the lighthouse kind of comes in and out, and you see this undulating mass that kind of just, it's very snake-like, that just kind of like it looks very much like a Loch Ness Monster video, a very kind of hump that kind of comes out of the water. It doesn't come out of the water, but kind of breaches the surface of the water and then just kind of snake-like backs into the water.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some like what sounds like child's like screaming, like panic screaming. And then in the very corner next to the lighthouse, you see the silhouette of an old man in a fishing outfit. And then the video stops.
I think he would have been kind of sitting with everybody who wasn't driving, showing them, mainly Derek and Jonathan, since Ada is Googling things, showing them the video.
Sorry. So, Ada, as you're Googling, there's not a whole lot of information on Derby Wharf and its history. You find that it was built in 1871, and it was an oil lamp at first before it was a light, so it's a fairly older lighthouse. The original lighthouse maintainer was an older gentleman who was a retired sea captain for the British Navy, who had come to Salem, retired, and became the lighthouse maintenance person. They don't live, it's not like a typical lighthouse station, because it's not on an island, it's not something that you have to go and live on. He lived in Salem and maintained the lighthouse. He had a son. The son passed down care of the lighthouse to his son, who passed it down to his son, all the way until the 1920s. And in 1927, that lineage was broken as the lighthouse maintainer at that time was found dead on the beach. And so the boy went missing, and they replaced that lighthouse maintenance person with someone from a different lineage.
And has it been
So-
since then, every 3 years? These deaths have been happening?
Yeah, your files, at first it wasn't. It was like once every 15 years, and then it started growing in frequency recently to every 3. The every 3 years has been happening for the last 3 decades.
So, the lighthouse caretaker in 1927 went died, and then his son went missing.
Correct.
Okay.
And you will notate that the body was found in the same location that Maximus's body was found. The previous body was found. They're not like the exact spot, but in the same location.
Okay.
Which coincidentally is a place called Long Point. Not that far from the lighthouse. In fact, you can probably see it as you're driving down the wharf.
Do I have a name for the older gentleman that used to run the lighthouse?
Jahona. Not Jonah. Jahona.
Oh, nah. Last name, Joe? British
Last
man?
name is Enema.
Okay.
This is a long shot, but while watching the video, can I investigate a mystery?
Go for it.
Seven.
It's just barely a pass.
I just get one, right?
Yep.
Oh, jeez. What's being concealed here?
As you're looking at the video and watching it and watching it and watching it and watching it, you definitely see there is clearly something in the water, very Loch Ness, very snake-like, that kind of like goes through. You see the figure. It's a very translucent. It definitely looks like evidence of a ghost, because it definitely does not look solid. It looks like some sort of shadow figure or something, but it is well defined. On the very left side of the video, you see on the like beach head, like right where the water meets the beach, the rocky beach.
Yeah.
You see a little couple pixels. Could be a little boy. And as you watch it again, it's a little closer. And you watch it again, now it's like 15, 20 pixels, and it definitely looks like some sort of child shape. Continue watching.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see.
It gets closer.
The
The video
Derek.
starts to pan and focus. It's like a 20-second clip, and as it's on loop, it begins to kind of shift its focus away from the undulating snake-like creature, and the boy is clear in this image.
Benny's
gonna
gonna
reach
push
over.
pause.
Well, okay, that works too. I'm gonna take a screenshot when it's on the boy.
You take a screenshot. The phone begins to make that noise.
The car comes to a screeching halt as Catherine is driving and hears the sound in the back seat.
What was that?
There is a still image of a child with eyes rolled back, wet hair just frozen on the phone, and it continues to make that sound.
Turn it off.
Wait just a second. I'm gonna take a picture of the picture.
Are you fucking kidding
it
me?
messes up Benny's phone, and then I'm gonna try and turn it off.
You power it down, and as you take the picture on your phone begins to make that noise.
Stupid.
Oh my god, what are you doing? Just shut them off. Turn them off.
I'm gonna delete it. Delete.
You try to delete the picture, and it doesn't go away.
I break Derek's phone.
Ada, what the?
Throws it out the window.
The sound finally stops.
Throws it out the window. You just hear
I wouldn't do that. We have enough tools in this car that I could smash a phone.
You're gonna make a crack at us. I'm like, hey.
You didn't have to
Okay,
break his
guys,
phone.
I'm
You
not
can just turn
going-
it off.
I'm not going to the lighthouse anymore.
No,
We're
I
gonna go
think that's
turn
a
in what
terrible
we
idea.
have, and
We're not gonna do anything.
we can
No,
come back
wait.
to this next week when we have more time.
I think that's a good idea. I think what this needs to be like, hey, we need to figure out more stuff. Also, we need to make sure Ariana Grande is okay.
It's Ariana John Smith.
You know what? I feel like her father must have been a fan of Ariana Grande.
Why?
What have we done? We haven't done anything. What if
We
someone else
found
dies?
out that there's a little boy ghost that's causing havoc. We found
There's an
out that
adult ghost.
an adult ghost that we don't know what's doing yet, but it may be Jonah Enema?
Anima.
Anima.
Oh, I heard enema as well.
I heard
Enema,
I wasn't gonna
so
say
I was
anything.
Okay.
Hate to be that guy.
But like we could probably do some research during the week too on some like downtime times to figure out what we do, because this ghost is gonna kill us.
If we go there now, this ghost is gonna kill us.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
We need
Benny.
We need firepower.
All right,
In the
fair
form of
enough.
knowledge.
I have my not a flamethrower.
I don't think that works against ghosts.
Well, I have a taser too, and these are water ghosts.
I don't think that's how that works,
Sound like
Jonathan.
Pokemon, Jonathan.
One thing we need to do is we need to figure out ghosts are usually tied here by an object.
It may be something inside the lighthouse, but if we go,
could be
we
the
might.
whole lighthouse. It could,
Could be
that
the whole
thing.
lighthouse.
Well, I mean, we can't just like burn a lighthouse down.
The other problem is it could be a body at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, so yeah, the morgue, the guy had suction cut marks around his leg. So I think that mass was some sort of sea creature.
Oh, definitely.
The other
Yeah.
thing is that his organs were all compressed very quickly.
Which means he was pulled down much faster than he should have been.
That is
So
physically
something-
normally capable of going.
Okay.
Also, dead bodies are really gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't know that? You've never
mean, I
seen a dead
did.
body before?
Have you?
Yes.
Weird.
Benny, can I see your phone?
You're not going to turn it back
I'm
on,
driving
right?
back to Marcus's, by the way.
I'm going to
As you're
hand Derek.
backing the car up, I need Ada to roll
Oh, no.
me a sharp.
Oh, okay. Sure, Joe. Sharp. Okay.
Save me from whatever bad is about to happen.
It's all good. I'm fine. You're fine. We're fine. Everything is fine.
Something makes my foot like slam the gas and we
Yeah.
just go.
No.
in the ocean.
We good. We good. 12.
As you're backing the car up down the wharf, because you had made it to the wharf and you decided you don't want to go any further, so you're backing up down the wharf because it's a single lane kind of thing down towards the lighthouse. You're backing up. Ada, you get this feeling and you reach over and you push down on Catherine's knee, causing her to slam on the brakes just in time to not hit a child's figure the silhouette right behind the minivan.
What did my backup cam show?
As you look at the backup cam,
God, we see this.
you see the wet child.
I slammed the gas.
No! You're
No,
gonna run over this
no.
child?
The drowned one, the ghost that's been like chasing us.
Uh-huh.
Just
Yeah.
You hit the
stay.
gas,
Just
and as the car goes, you all see half a child kind of like translucently go through the van
As we're all pushed up against the side, like,
as the van backs up. And you kind of turn the car. You do one of those what are they, little
180s.
Yeah, 180 in a minivan. And you hit the gas and you take off back towards Marcus's shop.
We need more information.
We need more information, but we also need
he
protection.
was right there. We could have.
We could have what, Derek?
trapped
Maybe-
him, banished him. I don't know. We have those abilities.
You're right. We do have those abilities. Do you want to go banish him?
I can try.
You're having this conversation as the minivan is gunning it through town.
I'm not. Once we get off the wharf area, I go at normal speed. But you guys can see that Catherine is shaken. She is shook. All the training for paramedic, and she is like super shook, breathing super hard, white knuckling the steering wheel.
We have to do something because now it's following us.
Is it? Or is it just standing there? Looks
I-
back.
It was
Maybe-
at the hospital.
Oh,
and
I
now-
thought you meant it was like running after us.
Oh! Look back behind, Joe. Is it running after us? Is it in the car?
No, there is no... Catherine has driven through town a little bit, and there is no evidence of the ghost child.
Do
Okay,
you happen to
so
see where we drowned?
No, I just saw our bodies in the lighthouse, I think.
So we
But
were
also-
in water. We weren't like in a hospital.
No, we weren't even in water. It just looked like we drowned and we were in this very tight space. But we weren't at the hospital.
okay, but who's to say that this ghost kid is actually bad?
So he showed up and that little girl was almost dead.
Yeah, but think about it. Okay, every incident or death that's happened, the parents have died. The kids have been left alone or haven't died. So what if maybe his father drowned him and his vengeful spirit came back and killed the motherfucker? And now any abusive parent or something is killing these parents.
What if it's just a little fuck? And it's
I mean,
not
it could
bad.
be both, but we have to think of all of the reasons here, Ada.
Then why is he coming after us?
Because we saw too much.
That's
We know.
crazy. We're here to help people.
These kids watch too much movies.
He's too old for that.
I don't know what ghosts do in their spare time when they're not haunting people.
They're always haunting people, or they're just confused.
I think them just existing is considered a haunt.
So you
mean-
get to the headquarters, and you pull up to the parking, and yeah,
Ada, or Catherine, sorry. I stole your name for a minute, Ada.
Oh, it's fine.
Since I was looking at you. Catherine, like, unsticks her hands from the steering wheel and is visibly shaking a little bit.
It's okay now. You know,
Is it?
just put your head back and take a breath.
Catherine, I think we need to put protection seals on your van.
I
Yeah.
think we need to take some protection seals to the hospital.
I put some in the girl's room.
Yeah, but who's to say that this boy isn't going to attack the nurses.
What if he's already attacked the nurses? We saw fucking no one when we were on that floor.
I think
Except
it's
for
just-
the one that came in at the end.
I don't think he's going to attack anyone who wasn't at the lighthouse.
We don't know that.
He hasn't, like, it hasn't thus far.
We need more information. I think we
Yes.
should go ask Marcus if there's anything else.
Yes.
Something that he's
Yeah.
holding from us.
Out of the van.
Yeah, you get out of the van, walk through the smoke shop, back into the hall, and open the door to the office. And you are immediately hit with the smell of sea and fish. And laying kind of
Marcus is
slumped
dead.
in the chair, you can see the back of Marcus's head with his hat on. He's just kind of laying in the chair.
I look at Catherine and I'm like, okay, so you do your thing.
I'm gonna roll my thing and try to see
I'm
if I
gonna-
can do anything
Derek.
to help Marcus.
I'm gonna start trying. Can I look around because I have the special eyes to see invisible things?
So you remember that roll I made with the man with the plan? I
Yeah.
had gotten a 10 on that. I'd like to use one of those holds right now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with Theta. What was your roll? A 10?
And
Okay. So you walk up and you turn the chair around and you know there's no saving Marcus. Marcus is gone. You can tell that Marcus has the same exact markings that the ankle had around the top of his neck. You can see it just above the collar and it wraps up right behind his ear. Those little hickey marks. And he has the same kind of like compressed look. His body is bloated. He looks like he is fresh dead. Soaking wet.
guys,
I see
we don't
anything?
have a boss anymore.
Who's gonna pay for our Olive Garden now?
Benny, what was your
Mhm.
roll?
For which one?
For your man with a plan.
Okay, so I originally got a 10, so that's a hold 2. So I'm ready for a situation.
So, you immediately assess the situation and look around, and you notice that there's no clear and present danger anymore. There's a dead body in front of you. You're going to have to figure out how to explain that, or cover it up, or whatever. But there's no danger present. There's no sign of the ghost child. There's no sign of any murderer or serial killer around. There's no man with an axe in the corner or anything like that. There's no danger present in this situation. You do notice that Marcus seems to be clutching something in his fist. Like his other hand's kind of slumped over, his other hand is like there, and he, like one hand is open and just kind of like open, the other one's definitely in a fist.
Gonna go over and carefully pry open.
Rigor has set in, and it is very difficult. But
I
you
will help.
peel open his hands. You can hear the cracking as the rigor pops open, and it falls to the floor. Ding, 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 ding. A key. It's a modern key. Little gold key.
Is there anything in this room that looks like it would need a key?
Sure looks like his office door key.
I'm going. I take his key. Should we call the cops, or we can call a detective?
We have touched you two have touched a body.
Let's do our research before we call the cops, because we're not going to get the opportunity to before
Yeah.
they get here.
I'm gonna go
Good
into
point.
his office.
You insert the key into the deadbolt part of the lock, and it unlocks. kind of jiggle the handle, and you realize that it's the deadbolt and the handle, so you insert the key, and it works there as well. Click open the door, and you slowly creak the door open. And that's where we're going to end this particular episode of Spirit.
No.
Thank you so
Just
much
had
for
to give
joining
him
us.
shit, Ada.
I don't give a fuck. I don't trust this bitch. He's
Well,
probably not dead. Or if he is dead, he's some immortal bullshit.
Ada, he's dead. Look at him. You're still talking shit about him. He's dead.
Stop. It's not funny.
Catherine is re-shook.
It's re-shook.
So, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Spirit. We will be playing again next week as this two-parter wraps up. Join us for our next episode on Friday, April 8th. Then we will be off on the 15th, and then we'll be back on the 22nd and 29th. So make sure you join us on those wonderful, horrifying Friday nights. Hope you all had a fantastic time. I'm going to let DB take over with the final announcements.
Sure. Thank you, everybody. If you would like to support Riley's Children's Hospital through Extra Life, remember that you can donate to this game to help us. We're probably going to need it next week.
We're facing a child.
Please consider joining us on all social media. That's the Nerd Asylum on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We also are in Discord. Join us on Discord, and you can talk theories with us, talk shit about Marcus. It's all good. We have a Kickstarter happening eventually.
Actually,
awesome
we have
dating
a launch date.
Ooh, we have a launch date for that, so I'll kick it over to Lance to tell you about that.
So we are starting a Kickstarter for a fantasy-themed visual novel dating sim that we have been working very, very hard on, and our Kickstarter is launching April 5th. So
4 days.
April 5th, 4 days. 4 days, and then you can follow the link and watch it, and then you'll get a notification when we go live with it, and then you can help us make this game a reality.
Yes.
You can even be in the game.
Yeah. For $1,000, you can be a romanceable character.
Romanceable NPC. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will see you in a week where we will wrap up this mystery, hopefully, and Marcus will not be dead because who's going to pay us?
I want us to not be dead.
We'll be fine.
Until
gonna
next
die.
time, friends, stay nerdy.
Bye.